What's up, y'all? It's me. It's your boy Asmongold, and today we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something a little weird. I'm gonna show you guys how to solo Valithria Dreamwalker as a Deathknight. It's not really all that complicated, but it's just kind of a weird thing that I figured I would like try and do, and I figured I'd make a guide and show you guys how to do it too. Basically, what you do is you have to use your bloodworms and have your bloodworms explode on top of Valithria, and the explosion heals her. And you can't see it right now, but I'm using a level 80 weapon that I'd actually gotten while clearing this instance to do this fight. And the reason why I'm doing that is so I can get as many melee attacks off as possible. The way Bloodworms proc works is that every or sorry, not every your melee strikes have a 10% chance to proc a bloodworm, and so obviously if you're dual wielding, which I am, you've got twice as high of a chance to proc the bloodworms because it's on a flat 10% interval. And also using the weaker weapons is allowing me to always keep these mobs alive just as long as I need them to be. So I never run out of mobs to melee, because this is actually pretty hard to do. Like I had a really hard time doing this. It took me a few wipes to do. Gear is not really an issue here. However, the bloodworms do scale with gear, or sorry, with health and gear, obviously. And so every single time Valithria turns red, that means that she just got a bloodworm heal. And so the suppressors are the mobs that you really want to watch out for. And the reason for that is the suppressors decrease the healing that she takes, and so they just like automatically cut your healing down. You want to kill those as fast as possible. The way I handle it is at 4 spawn, and so if there's like it's like 3 on one side, I'll just put down a Death and Decay, and Death and Decay can kill it on its own, so I don't really have to worry about it later on. Besides that, there's these gluttonous abominations, and I try to focus them last. And the reason for that is basically whenever they explode, they spawn these other ads, and those other ads have a chance to like aggro onto your bloodworms and sometimes kill them. That's what happened to me, and it was like really dumb. And so I didn't really want that to happen. And also they explode, and they can deal damage to Valithria too, and you don't want that to happen. You always want to stay very close to her, or at least, kind of where I am now, just to make sure that all the bloodworms that do explode do heal her. Um, the Archmages don't really do anything. They just cast a Frostbolt and they put a thing under you, as you can see, and it'll knock you up in the air if you get hit by it, but it's not really a big deal either way. Blazing Skeletons don't really do much of anything either. They just do this lay waste, which is an explosion. It only really becomes an issue if you hit the enrage and like 20 of them spawn. It's kind of shitty. Like basically, if you hit the enrage, I actually kill her through the enrage on this one. But if you hit the enrage, your chances of killing her pretty much go to 0. And the reason for that is basically with the amount of mobs up that she's taking damage from, and the possibility of you like actually proccing like enough bloodworms and everything to heal her, it gets pretty low. And so basically you want to make sure that you're always meleeing something at all times whenever you're doing this fight, so you always have that 10% chance of getting a bloodworm. I was doing some other thinking about this whenever I did it, and one of the other ideas I had was going into Unholy Presence to get faster runes and faster attack speed. As you can see, I kind of decided against it because Blood Presence does give me more health, and so the health increases my bloodworms, and so that is a plus. The blistering zombies, they are also really not a big deal. They do an explosion, and the explosion does damage Valithria, I'm pretty sure, but it does almost no damage. I mean, you have to heal her 6 million, and it maybe does like 30k or something like that. It's not deadly at all. It's mainly just about keeping the suppressors down, and also always having something to melee. Like right now, I probably shouldn't be attacking him, and yeah, I just kind of figured that out and started attacking the other thing. Other than that, this is just kind of a waiting game. It's really kind of frustrating to have to do this and then wipe at the end, but like Deathknight's not my main class, so I'm not like really good at doing it. And so what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and just kind of let the video play, and I guess it's probably about time for me to think about things to talk about. And so anyway, I'll just kind of let you guys watch and show you the gear at the end. Okay. Well, anyway, I'll just kind of go back to one thing that I did want to mention is that there's a glyph that you can use Death Coil on friendly allies, and it puts a shield on them, and you can use it on Valithria. I don't think it's worth it, so I wouldn't do it. But if you think that it'll help you, you should do it. As you can see right now, more ads are starting to spawn, and right now, like, because with the amount of blistering zombies that are up or skeletons, they are doing damage to Valithria too, and so it is kind of, it's frustrating to try and like out heal all of their damage and kill them. You don't really want to use diseases up until this point if you get to it, just because they'll kill your targets too fast. As you can see, there's just bunches of them up right now. And like at this point, I honestly didn't think I was going to kill it, and I just kind of got lucky with a couple of, like back-to-back bloodworm procs, and it healed her up and actually killed her, or I guess ended the fight or killed them, whatever. I would say anybody can do this with like a pretty decent item level. It's not really item level required. As you can see, I just got it done, and it's all about just staying on top of her. And here are the weapons that I'm using: the Facelifter and Twilight's Hammer, healing weapon. And so this is definitely not damage intensive. So make sure you have 2 fast weapons and you're always attacking. Anyway, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe.